طيب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله يعطيكم العافية أجمعين, and welcome to Tech Founders. This is the third edition of the Tech Founders program. I'll be your host, Sohaib Adadi, and I'll be your host for this whole week. I think we are super excited that today essentially marks the third edition of the program. We've done two more editions last year and the year before. Alhamdulillah, it's been really, really good. And this is the third time around, and you guys are a part of it. And we're super, super excited to have you guys be a part of it. Now, before I jump in, I just want to make sure that can everybody see my screen? Like just maybe like thumbs up or write in the comment or. Are you guys seeing my screen? Yes. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of thumbs up. Fantastic. Thank you. So before I essentially this is the introduction of the program, right? And before I talk about the program, what we're going to be doing today, what is the schedule? Who are the instructors? How is this whole thing is going to work? I'd like to kind of play a little tiny teeny game, which is how do you guys feel right now if you were to essentially share a single emoji right now? What would that emoji be right now? So it could be something like a thumbs up, it could be a smiley face, it could be a laughing emoji. I hope nobody has a thumbs down emoji. But what do we have here? Let's see. And feel free to do it like also in the comment section. So we have people that are smiling, we have people that are happy, we have happy face, we have people that are laughing. We have somebody with an airplane. That's good. I hope that you landed safely. All right, we have hearts, we have people. Okay, that's good. Like I'm glad that we don't have anybody who has like a thumbs down or like a sad face. I'm glad that at least the general thing is everybody's happy. That's good, alhamdulillah. That makes my job much, much easier. It makes the jobs of our mentors and the whole team, inshallah, much, much easier to move forward. All right, fantastic. So with that being said, let me kind of kick this off a little bit and tell you why are we doing this and how this whole thing is going to come together. So to put it very, very simply, essentially this is a full week program, right? So we start off from today and then we end inshallah by the end of Thursday, which will be on the 3rd of July. So think of it, each and every day is going to be essentially a building block, right? So day one is going to be with the amazing Reem Bashushi. We're going to be talking about scaling operations. And so we'll tell you everything about it related to essentially scaling operations. Then we'll move to day two, and we'll talk about building and managing teams at scale. And then we'll move to day three, which is international expansion. And for those that may, it might make sense for you and it might not make sense for you. So we're going to take a look into how does that align with your goals. And then day four, we're going to jump with Ahmed Dakruri into raising Series A and beyond. And if you're in that stage, then he will definitely help you in that aspect. And then day five is essentially pitch day. So the reason why we've broken it up into 5 days is because think about it, like I said earlier, each and every day is a building block, right? So I know that most of you guys already have pitch decks. You've pitched to hundreds of investors, so this is not something new. But the main thing that is kind of tied into this particular program is you're going to be working on a particular point each and every day. And by day 5, you're supposed to be pitching to A, your mentors, and then B, you're also, if things do work out and you move forward to the next stage, then you're going to be pitching in front of a panel of judges. And then this particular panel will essentially decide if you move on to the next stage or not. And we'll talk about what the next stage is and what is the definition of the next stage. So I'll have in a little bit my colleague Noura discuss it in a few moments. But essentially, this is why what we're having, right? So it's learning. You get to meet a lot of people. You get to see how things are moving forward. And then hopefully, inshallah, if things do move forward, then you can move forward to the next stage of the program. And again, this particular deck, the one that I'm currently sharing and reviewing with you, we will share that with you as well. So don't feel the pressure of taking screenshots every now and then, or taking your phone out. And if you want to do that, please go. Feel free to do that. But we will share, inshallah, with you the whole deck. Okay. Now, moving forward, this is going to be essentially the schedule of each and every day. The first time, obviously, we have me doing the introduction. I'm going to be doing an introduction each and every day because it's just obviously the first, then the next day, inshallah, it's going to be the instructors kind of taking you guys through the process. But essentially, this is what we're doing. And then the second thing, if you notice on the second item, we have something that we refer to is a fireside chat. And the fireside chat, essentially, it's two guest speakers, people that are very well accomplished, and then they come in and then they talk about the topic that we're discussing. So today we have two very amazing people that you guys will get to meet in a few moments. And then we jump into essentially the instructor workshop. The instructor essentially lecture. So this is where we jump into this, and then we have a break, and then we continue to jump into essentially the workshop, and then we have something that's referred to as a breakout room. And for those that are not familiar with Zoom, so breakout room essentially, it's just literally think about it as a room, right? So you just go. This is kind of like the main room, the one that we're in. Think of that one as if you go to a separate teeny tiny or sub room that nobody hears what you guys are talking about, and it's just that particular team can discuss whatever exercise or whatever it might be, right? And then we just continue doing various types of things. And again, this will be shared with you guys. And then at the end, this is when essentially we close the session and we say, this is the main objective for today, and this is what you guys will expect and see for tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, are we good so far? Fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of people that are nodding their heads, and we have people that are giving thumbs up. That's good. I like the engagement. All right, thank you, Mohammed, for saying awesome. I really appreciate it. It makes my job much easier. All right. So moving forward, honestly, this whole bootcamp would not be possible without the amazing mentors that you guys are going to get to meet and work with throughout this whole week, inshallah. So if you would allow me, I'd like to start with each and every mentor, and then maybe they can, in about 30 seconds or a minute, tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we can move on to the next person. So I'll start off with Umar Al-Majali. Umar?
Yes, how are you guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Great. Well, I'm Omar Al-Majali. Nice to meet you all. I'm going to be one of the mentors this week. Just a quick background on myself. I come initially from a strategy consulting background. Then I worked with the smart city arm of the government for a few years. Today, I run a number of entrepreneurial endeavors in the coaching and creative space. I'm also a content creator, and I have my own podcast. This is my third or fourth time being a mentor in this program, and I'm just super excited to be kicking off this week with you all. Buckle up, because it's going to be an incredible ride, to say the least, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
Thank you so much, Umar. Next up, we have Wala.
Thank you, Suhaib. So Ahmad, this I think is the third Tech Founders Bootcamp, right? Yeah, so I'm Startup Grind Director in Muscat. I am a startup coach and entrepreneurship consultant. I have a master's in technology entrepreneurship. I've worked with more than 350 founders, and I specialize primarily in investment readiness and pitch preparation. And I work with funds and programs across the region, just like this one, working as a mentor or delivering workshops or delivering the program. Thank you, Suhaib.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Hussein Al-Haj.
Thank you, Sahib. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hussein Al-Haji. I'm highly interested to share you this interesting journey. This is why I guess it's my second or mainly second year's experience with this program. Highly interested in e-commerce and digital businesses. I have worked together with multiple businesses already running in the market. So I'm going to learn from you, and I'm going to work also with you throughout this days, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hussein. Next up is Nadine.
Hello, everyone. So like Wala and Umar, I think this is my third time. And my background comes from marketing and communications originally. And I help founders like you, inshallah, through this journey on how to scale your business. I mentor, I provide coaching, and it's all about using your communications and marketing to help you grow. So I look forward to this and the next week, inshallah. Best of luck, everyone.
Thank you so much. Next up is Nehmi.
Hey everyone, Atikon Alf Afia. Hope you're all doing great. Nami here, been a serial entrepreneur ever since I graduated. I'm on the journey of my third startup, been doing it from A to Z for more than 7 years, taking just an idea all the way to fundraising 3, 4 times for your startup. So more than happy to help you at every stage that you need. So it's going to be very fun. As Omar said, buckle up.
It will be, inshallah. All right. Next, and the last person that we have is Ahmed Hadari. Ahmed.
Good afternoon, Suhaib. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here for the second bootcamp in which I participate. So my name is Ahmed Hadri. I'm a startup advisor who had the opportunity to support more than 100 startups in different countries in areas such as fundraising, investment readiness, go-to-market, lean startup methodology, going from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 2 mainly. I'm mainly active in markets like such as Middle East, North Africa, and Sub-Saharan Africa. I really hope that you enjoy the bootcamp, and I'm sure that you are between very good hands.
All right. Sounds good. Next up, that's everybody that we have. We don't have a next person. So next up, essentially, so in order to make this whole process easy to move forward, is we have 3 different things that we're using, right? So WhatsApp, which is you guys have already included to various types of WhatsApp groups. We have an LMS, which is a learning management software, and essentially this will house all the exercises, the recordings, as well as the deck, which is this particular deck that I'm showing you. And then obviously the last thing is Zoom, which is what we're currently using. And so these are kind of like the main things that we're going to be using, inshallah, to move forward. Now, throughout this whole process, you might face some issues. You might have some questions about things that are related to the program or things that are related to whatever. So if it's related to the, some technical issues, whatever it might be, or you're looking for a recording, you're looking for whatever, then please feel free to scan this QR code. And essentially what will happen is you will be taken to your admin. Each and every one of you has an admin in your groups. And so you'll be able to text the admin any type of questions that you have, and inshallah we'll be able to help you and to support you. So again, this QR code is not something new. It's already included in your group. So if you go to your group and you take a look at your admin, you'll be able to essentially text them and then take it from there. Now, next up is the Global Incubation Program. And I think what this whole program is tied into, it's tied into really 3 main things, right? So it's tied into your attendance. So please make sure that you're attending as much as possible. Actually, like what we want all of you to attend like all the days. Like that's really the main thing, right? As much as you can. So that's as far as attendance. Number 2 is participation. So please don't just attend and not participate. Please do make sure that you do participate with the teams that you have and with your mentors. And then the last thing is going to be your pitch presentation. So all of this, like the first 2, attendance and participation, this is more related to essentially the first 4 days. And then the 5th day is going to be, this is like where the 3rd one will essentially be in, right? So once you kind of combine all these, come up with a magical number, and this magical number will essentially say who are the suggested people to essentially move forward to the next stage of the program. All right, now to move forward, I think there is one person that can explain the next stage far better than I can, and that person is Noura Sultan from MCIT. So Noura, if you are with us, if you can kindly join us. Can you hear me, Noura?
Sure. Hello, Suhaib. Hello, everyone. Do you hear me well?
Hello, Noura. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome on board. My name is Noura Sultan. I'm the program manager for the Multiverse Initiative, which is Tech Founders, one of the biggest program under that initiative. Thank you, Suhaib, for the great introduction. I'm very happy to know most of the startups joining today. and welcoming our mentors again in this cohort. I'm very excited to start this cohort with you guys. So I'll explain more about the stages that we are going through starting from the bootcamp, ending with the digital initiative incentives. So the first stage is the bootcamp that which you are assigning now. It's going to be on 5 days virtual. It's very important to commit to those days and learn from our mentors and expertise and all the guests that we are welcoming. We worked very hard to select very high calibers on that bootcamp, and the topics were selected based on the challenge that you have shared with us earlier. So it's very important to get through those topics and learn more about them. Right after, we're going to have the pitch day, which is the last day of the bootcamp. And that is very crucial for you to select for the second stage, which is the international incubation phase. In that phase, we will select 40 startups on 2 destinations. One of them is in UK and the other one in Asia. It's going to be on 8 weeks program in collaboration with the universities that we are.
No, go ahead, Noura. I think somebody maybe had their mic on. Go ahead, Noura. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So the 8 weeks going to be split on 2 phases. One of them is learning curve, and the other one going to be practical, where we're going to link you with many companies, meetups, events where you can contribute and get to connect with global expertise, investors, VCs, get to know their challenge, the best practices, and what is ideal models that is similar to your startup sector. After this trip, we will offer you a great digital incentives, which is mentorship hours with the global mentors, financial systems, HR systems, in collaboration with many other startups, legal services as well. You're going to have a certain points, and those points will enable you to benefit from those services. We'll explain it in detail in that stage, and we will also help you and host you on the website where you're gonna learn how to use it and benefit from all those services. That to sum up, wish you best of luck and very excited, inshallah, to meet you soon at Code.
All right. Thank you so much, Noura. Much appreciated. I think it's honestly, it's really one of those, one of those initiatives that's really amazing, because you get to be sent over to either the US or London, or you get to be sent over to Singapore, which is something quite amazing. All right. Now moving on, we can get one more things. All right. So there is, and this is something, and I know that it might be a little bit silly, but this is really something that we've seen when it comes down to a lot of the boot camps that we've seen, is that obviously we have people from different backgrounds and things of that nature. So please respect each other as much as possible. And really the main things that we kind of need to align on in a big way is the responsibility aspect, right? So the idea of having responsibility is that when it comes down to this whole bootcamp, it's really up to you at the end of the day of how you want it to go, right? So if you want this to be something that you can benefit from, both you and your team from, then this is definitely an opportunity for you. Whereas if you see it as something that you just want to kind of check off a box and then come in and last day, pitch and then leave, then honestly, I think you might not get all the kind of the perks that are added in this program when it comes down to potentially meeting other people, networking with people, as much as also learning and seeing if there's something that you can potentially improve throughout your journey, right? Next up is also growth. So this is an amazing opportunity, I think, for growth. Anybody, and I know a lot of you obviously have experiences and you're running your startups, and you're taking some time off from your startups to attend this particular boot camp, and we really appreciate it. But we think they're really, really valuable for you to move forward, inshallah. And last but not least is teamwork. So when it comes down to teamwork, one of the main important things that we have is a lot of you are going to be in various groups and with various teams and various startups. And so you really need to kind of work together to make sure that things are moving forward. And so this is one of the really important things that needs to be done. Before we move on to the next stage or the next, let's say, segment of this particular program, do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions, or if there's things that you guys want to highlight, or if something that doesn't make sense, or something that you want to ask questions more about? Mohammed, amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, go ahead. Somebody had a question. Alaikum assalam. Yes.
Hamd Rohaibi, founder and the CEO of Shafra. I believe I have 2 to 3 questions. First of all, how many startups in this cohort?
So the startups that are in this cohort, we're looking at, I mean, so it depends on the people that are coming in versus the people that are that have registered. So we'll get back to you, inshallah, on like how many people that ended up showing up.
Sure.
But we're looking like north of maybe like 60 to 70 or so, inshallah.
Okay, sure. My second question is the criteria of the evaluation to boost up to the level. Yes, this is one. The second one, because I don't want to throw my questions a lot, I will give it to you once. Then I will give you the floor. The first one again, the criteria of the evaluation, and the second is what is the measurement of the success of your success in the previous tech founders? So how do you evaluate whether this cohort have been done successfully or not?
Okay. All right. So I'll thank you so much. So the first question, when it comes down to the criteria, so the criteria, it's honestly it's broken up into 3 different areas, or actually 4 different areas. So number 1 is going to be attendance. So attendance is important. It has a certain percentage when it comes down to the selection. Number 2 is going to be your essentially contribution. So if you've been engaging with the participants, if you've been engaging or participation, sorry, if you've been engaging with your mentors, you've been available. So this is the second one. And then the third thing is going to be the pitch, when you pitch at the end of day 5. So these are really the main 3 things that we have. And then there is, on top of that, there's also, once this is essentially done, we share this with a committee, and then they essentially take a look at it alongside with your pitch decks and everything. And then they say, you know what, we think that you guys get X amount or you get X amount, right? So this is how like the whole thing is working. In terms of success, I think that we'll need to take a different day for that, because that is a long answer, and we're running a little bit out of time. And I also I want to also allow other people to ask questions as well. So we have I think we have a couple of questions also that are asking, they're asking people on the thing, is it recorded? Because Zoom put me out for a while I rejoined. Yes, so Ilaf, this is a recorded session, and inshallah, we're going to be sharing everything with you as well. Criteria, I think we already spoke about that. So we have Omar. Yes, go ahead, Omar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
I'm Omar Al-Omar, co-founder for CyberCube. I have 2 questions, please. First, what's the time for the La ilaha illallah, for the pitch deck? Okay. What's the time for the pitch deck? Because actually we have a couple of meetings this week, alhamdulillah. So we need to know what's the time to make it like available, to make our team is available for that. Second, is there any grant for this program, which is the most important for the startups?
Right. So grant, there isn't a grant. So let me back up a little bit. So in terms of time, you guys will be pitching. So all of you guys will be pitching essentially on Thursday, inshallah. So just free yourself up on Thursday because that's going to be pitch day, right? That's as far as the pitch.
But sorry for interrupting you. Is there a specific time for Thursday?
Yes. So we're going to be blocking you, inshallah, from all the way from 2 to 5, inshallah, or like 2 to 6 or so. And I'll share more information, inshallah, as the day goes on. But yes, inshallah, it's going to be on Thursday. And we'll share all the structure with you, inshallah. And we'll take it from there. In terms of a grant, so the main thing is for anybody who's obviously a part of this program, I don't really see it as winners and losers. I see it as people that are making a benefit out of this whole program, right? So if you get selected and you move forward, obviously you'll be either sent to Silicon Valley or to Singapore or London or one of these locations. And that's a huge win, right? So that's really the main thing that's related to this program. And then if you don't, that's not the end of the world. If you don't, obviously you're getting connections with people that are here. You might find your next hire. You might learn something that you can improve within your operations, or you might find the next business person, right? So I think I definitely would look at it from these two lenses, and then honestly, that's how I would look at it. We have three more minutes, so I think we have a room for one more question. And feel free to write it on the yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just I want to build up on the questions asked about the criteria of selecting the winners. So does it have to be like a Saudi national, or like it can be a Saudi resident with like a Saudi company registered and being the HQ in Saudi Arabia?
So my understanding is that it has to be like a Saudi company. Yes, like a Saudi company. As long as it is a Saudi company, then yes. Then you can definitely move forward.
If it's a Saudi company, but the founder is not Saudi, right?
I think so. Yes, I think we'll have to get back to you on that one, but I think so. Yes, because that's like essentially.
If you allow me, Suhaib.
Yes. Go ahead.
If you allow me, Suhaib, I will just add more on what you have already mentioned. So I'll just stress on the standard for the program that we are having, either in Tech Founders or all and the other programs for MCIT. So it has to be a Saudi founder, and we accept only a member from the founding team, either the founder himself, herself, or the co-founder. So we don't accept the other teams that are working under the founding team. I don't want you to worry about the other criteria we have. There is a lot of dependencies and scoring sheet based on your contribution through the bootcamp and your commitment to the program as well. Also depend on the stage that you are in, your revenue, the team members. There is a lot of aspect that we are evaluating during your pitch time and before that. So that if you are questioning the criteria in general. Also, we have two patches.
You said it has to be a Saudi founder. I just missed the first point.
That's right. This is the Ministry of Communication rules,
Okay, thank you.
Most of okay. So those are the criteria of the program. Also, I just want to mention that bear with us. We're gonna ask you to submit some cards, some lists that will help us to analyze more your needs and understand the challenge that you are having. So based on it, that we are selecting the mentors, the topics of the program in general. So bear with us. If you have received many emails or many asks, just ask if you have any concern, and we will reply on Tech Founders email. I'll just write it in the chat, and we're also going to welcome you and share all the topics, the agenda, through that email. So any concern that you have or a clarification you're looking for, just contact us through that email. Even from Suhaib part, we will help you at any time, or any other from the mentors team.
All right, thank you so much, Noura. I really, really appreciate it. All right, so I think that sums up what Noura just said. So if you guys have any questions, just please feel free to share over email, and then we'll take it from there. Now, we've gotten to the next stage of today's session, and I'll hand the mic over to Omar. Essentially, this next stage is going to be the the fireside chat, where we have two guest speakers that are phenomenal, and they're going to come in. They're going to be essentially sharing their thoughts with us. So I'll hand the mic over to Omar. Omar, my floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Suhaib. Good afternoon, everyone. And again, welcome to day one of the Tech Founders Program. This week is going to be rich in knowledge. And if I were you, I would always have a notebook right by my side, ready to take notes, because there's a lot of information that's going to be shared with you. Yes, we're going to be sharing the presentation with you, but there's a lot of golden nuggets that we will be sharing across the week and every single day. And one of the key ways that we get to learn, through this program is through these fireside chats with renowned entrepreneurs from the region, talking on crucial topics that will be relevant to every single founder and every single team who are with us on the call today. And the topic of today will be around scaling operations and the lessons for scaling early. And we've got two incredible guests, as Suhaib has mentioned. We've got Hassan Sawaf and Mohammed Shabib. I'm going to give a quick intro on those two incredible guest speakers before I welcome them. Hassan is a seasoned AI leader and entrepreneur, and he's the founder of AI Explain or Explain. He has held executive roles at Meta, AWS, and eBay. And with over 2 decades of experience in machine learning and AI innovation, Hassan has led large-scale AI strategy and product initiatives and has built global teams from ground up. So learning from his experience is going to be extremely essential today. And we've also have Mohammed with us. And Mohammed is a serial entrepreneur and seasoned executive in the MENA region. He has led and scaled several ventures across industries. And Mohammed is known for taking companies from early traction to regional leadership and has deep experience in operational growth across emerging markets. Mohammed and Hassan, welcome to the call.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Hassan, and I can see you.
I missed the note. The backgrounds you guys have are all the same. It's I should have done the same, but thank you for having me for sure.
Of course. Thanks for being here. Welcome, Hassan. And Mohammed, is Mohammed with us on the call? I'm not sure if Mohammed is with us on the call.
I think he just joined. I think he had a.
He just joined.
The link. Yeah, he just joined. Mohammed, can you hear us?
Okay.
Mohammed, I think he can hear us now.
I can. Yeah. Sorry, I was in the wrong link.
Well, now we have you. That's what matters. Welcome, Mohammed.
Fantastic. Hello.
Welcome, Mohammed and Hassan. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be asking, because there's a lot that we want to cover and we only have 30 minutes. So I'm going to be asking each of you a question. But if any of you felt the urge to sort of add on what the other has spoken of, or what has the input that they've given, please feel free to do so. Mohammed, maybe I'll kick off the call with you, and we'll just dive right into it. I would love to, first of all, let's start, from a very basic level. Let's define what scaling is from your experience. And then what are the signals that show that it is time to scale and to scale operationally?
Okay, what is scaling? That's a very good question. I usually, when I talk to my mentees, I always say scaling, number one, is that you start on your own and then you have a team. That's the first part of scaling. And I think the team enables the rest. Okay? I always said, get yourself a good techie, get yourself a very good people person, until then you're the people person. Get yourself a very good marketer, until then you're a marketer, etc. Now, my problem right now is that this world is changing. I just read an article about which company was bought, which was a solo founder that scaled to, I think 10 million ARR within 2-3 months. So this game is changing. Right? What is scaling? Scaling, at the end of the day, if you're creating a business, is measured by the business KPIs. And that's, for me, top line and bottom line, right? Most people look at top line still until today. I would say create a sustainable business. You have all the tools to do so. which means take a look at your profit on day one, of your costs in the beginning of your cost. Make sure the cost doesn't scale as fast as your revenue scales. And when you hit that, when you see that the gap is increasing between cost growth and revenue growth, then you get there. Now that's just the technicalities of it. But I ask myself as well, what is the scale at which I want to operate as a founder for it to make sense for me with my personal ambitions, right? There's a lot of people, and I think that's perfectly fine, that say, you know what, I want to take $20,000, $30,000 a month out of my company and live a good life with independence and freedom, right? There's people, and probably I'm one of those, that says, no, I want to build a product that is seen globally and that, excites and benefits millions of users, right? So it's also a definition of your personal ambition.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Mohammed. So if I understood correctly, like one of the greatest signals that we are ready to scale is that when we start seeing a gap between the cost growth and the revenue growth,
Exactly,
because that's what it boils down to, really, at a fundamental level.
True.
Excellent. Al Hassan, is there such a thing as scaling too early or scaling too late? And if there is such a thing, what are some of the common mistakes that are associated with either scaling too early or scaling too late?
Yeah. So scaling, from my point of view, scaling comes in two things. One is scaling which you want to do. I mean, something which is part of the goal. Like scaling revenue is something everyone wants to do. Scaling the team, you need to do like it's a result of something, right? I mean, sometimes it is an input goal, and sometimes it's basically an output, a result. Scaling too early, no one is going to say to scaling too early if you're scaling revenue. If you're generating more revenue, this is perfect. If you scale too early, like that, your team, that might be something which you need to do. You need to think about. I mean, is the cost worth investing in scaling your team? Is it relevant to scale the team so that you basically have the revenue thereafter, or the other things you want to think about in terms of scaling is scale beyond a certain region, for example, scale beyond a certain business area or like domain, for example, etc., etc. So you need to think about scaling in various dimensions. And scaling too early is something which happens sometimes if you are, for example, scaling from one domain to the next too early. You're spread too thin, your team is spread too thin, and you don't go into the depth. The customer feels that you are too fluffy, too weak in what you're offering, etc., etc. So the question whether you're scaling too early or I mean too early scaling or wrong way of scaling is a matter each company has to think for themselves. But for me, as an angel investor, as well as like in my companies, I mean, the result you want to achieve is trust. You want to actually have customers come to you and trust you with what you're offering. And that typically means you should be excellent in something. And being excellent in something means sometimes you have to focus on a specific technical or domain area, which basically people are going to always come back to you because you have the best. And sometimes this is stronger than loud marketing and whatnot. Customers just trust you. They will always like gravitate towards you, etc., etc. So focus on that and scale according to what you really need. I mean, scale. I mean, the one scale you want to do is you want to scale revenue, you want to scale customer like customer acquisition. Important is retention. I mean, these are things you need to keep in mind and basically keep in your focus to scale. Scaling the team should always be the result. Scaling, going beyond the specific domain should also be done very carefully. I mean, basically, I mean, it should actually always be motivated by your metrics the company has. I mean, what do you want to achieve? It is better to be from my perspective, as an angel, as well as my startups I had before. It is better to be the best in a specific domain than one out of thousands of people which are offering basically the same, but you're covering too much basically and get lost in the market.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you so much, Hassan. Yeah, for sure. As you said, Hassan, I mean, one of the most important thing is really establishing product market fit before scaling and finding that niche, right? These are really important fundamental signals that any founder should make sure that he establishes before he even thinks of scaling. Mohammed, Hassan has talked about, team and scaling team. So I would like to talk about people and the structure, but in the context of scaling. Because team dynamics and leadership styles do change when you scale. So we'd love to hear from you, what sort of key shifts typically happen in team dynamics when scaling starts taking place? And how does the leadership style change, if any?
I've seen it multiple times in building a couple of businesses. So first of all, you start off with people that are close to you, that you trust, and they're very good at setting things up from scratch. Now, let's say you have a list of 6 to 7 key leaders in the organization and you scale to 100 people. At least half of them will not survive this transition to starting to super scale. Why? For multiple reasons. Number one, they might not have the skills to take it to the next level. Number two is they just enjoy and they draw their energy from being in a company that is between 0 to 10, not between 10 to 100. Right. And the other thing that you need to make sure is, as a founder in the early days, you own the entire team. Right. So every little problem they have, literally everyone and everything. But as you grow bigger, you can't pay attention to everything. You need to focus actually where your biggest value add is as a founder. And that's usually, and correct me if I'm wrong, my experience tells me that my focus as a founder and CEO is that I take care of all the crap. Everything that everyone else doesn't want to do anymore because it's too tough, it's too rough, or it smells like crap, lands on my desk. So you don't have time really to go into each single individual's problem anymore. And then what happens is you delegate a lot. When you delegate a lot, that's another description of you have an org chart all of a sudden, right? And this org chart means there are responsibilities on different shoulders. Some people still apply the methodologies and the techniques they used to apply when you were 7 people. Right. And these are then people that will exit from alone usually or by themselves. And then there are people that are more experienced or not more experienced. I'm not necessarily saying you need to hire experienced managers. What I'm saying is you need to hire people that are more adaptable to growth, right? And learn management techniques. I have done it in the past and can apply it. And then automatically, once you have layers, and even if you keep it as flat as possible, if you have this first layer of direct reports as a CEO and founder, you need to put processes in place that are fair. And that's how I look at it. My culture function or my people function is all about creating fairness and ensuring meritocracy, right? Because what you don't want is you don't want 10 people to work on a code base. One of them is super lazy and the others are working day and night. Because what will happen is if you don't sanction this laziness, the other's average will go down, or the frustration will go up, or a combination of both, and this kills your company and your scale ambitions. So that's pretty much how I look at the people function. It's the custodian of culture, and is really transitioning from day 1 to day 10, and then from day 10 to day 100. And I'm, for example, I'm very aware of that, and you will see it throughout my career. All the businesses that I have built, they have scaled to, let's say, 200 professionals plus customer support. After that, I think there are people that are much better than me at managing the business. I'm extremely good at the first 1,000 days. I'm not so good. Probably I'm okay, and I'm probably better than average, but I'm not outstanding at 1,001 days to infinity. There are other people that are better. And I think you need to be aware of that. And that's what you'll see in scaling teams. The great ones are those that are fully aware of their limitations.
Totally, Mohammed. And I think this is something that founders should, keep reminding themselves of, because I do know that some founders, they struggle with this issue of, and that's normal, control, or like maybe because or maybe I wouldn't want to say that there isn't trust, but sometimes, some founders prefer to do things their own, but things, need to change and are bound to change if you're scaled. Like you need to start putting more trust and delegation in your team. So that's definitely an important factor that you brought here. Hassan, Muhammad touched briefly on this idea of processes, systems and processes need to be in place. So let's shift gears and talk about systems and processes in the context of scaling. What are some, from your perspective, like very basic operational frameworks or systems that are essential or that need to be put in place when we're scaling? And how do we also balance, or like how important is it to balance speed versus control as you scale?
So it's a great question, actually. So I like what Muhammad said. I mean, when you have basically a team which is up to 50 people, up to 100 people, you have a different situation or different focus on what the process is and how you actually engage with the team versus when you are like beyond that, beyond 50, beyond 100. It depends on the company, like what the company is doing. 100, like if you have up to 50 people, your focus should actually be the culture, building up the culture. I mean, the process, you're gonna pivot on the process 100 times. I mean, you can learn. I mean, and you can adapt. You can say something might actually be the process you want to abide by and follow. What worked quite nicely. I mean, for us, for example, I mean, in my current startup, Explain, we. I just came out of Amazon not too long ago. I was running large teams over there, very startup-y though. So when I was at Amazon, and some functionalities, I said, okay, this is cool even for a startup. So I inherited the experience. I mean, the Two Pizza team. I don't know if you guys might have heard about the Two Pizza teams, the PRFAQ, working backwards kind of concept, where, I mean, everyone who has an idea, everyone in the company who has an idea should actually write it down in a one-pager. Ideas are then being discussed on a weekly basis, and then basically that one-pager turns into a six-pager where you have basically like a press release. Everyone writes press releases, and then basically behind that FAQs where you go into depth here and there. Beautiful experience. Beautiful idea on how to work with. Is that we didn't stick to that though, so we continued, we evolved, and that is basically the job of the team which you start with. So now we're not doing PRFAQs anymore. It's actually kind of slowing us down if we would need to do PRFAQs. I mean, fortunately, we have LLMs. They can actually help us build these PRFAQs even faster and whatnot. So this is all kind of cool, but it's not the same anymore like what we started with. You need to develop basically the process which works well for you. What works well for you doesn't need to be working well for others at the end of the day. This is also very important. So processes need to be adapted according to what you do as a business and according to the core team. Something else I loved what Muhammad said. In different stages, you have different people. When I started Explain again, I actually from the get-go knew where my weakness is, and I was telling everyone I want to hire a CEO. Why? Because I know I am a product guy. I'm not a CEO. I mean, this is not my job, like running and doing finance and human resources and this. I mean, not that I don't know it. I have done it for 30 plus years. But is that the best investment of my time for the company? It's not. For me, building product, technology, building products 10 years ahead of the market, that's me. That's what I do. But at the same time, when you're starting a company, as basically the person with the idea, you have to take on that role, because no one understands your vision better than you. So for the first year, 2 years, 5 years or something, you have to own that responsibility. And like Muhammad said, do everything. I mean, from buying the coffee for the team to like programming where things which no one wants to do otherwise because they are confused about what to do, etc., all the way to going and doing sales and talking to investors, etc., etc. So you have to basically be ready to do everything. And the first 50 people, not only you, everyone in the 50, everyone from these 50 has to have the same mentality. No one should say, "Oh, this is I'm too good for this," or "This is not what I'm hired for." So this is very important.
And in Amazon, I think you guys had the day one sort of culture thing where like you always show up to work as if it's day one, and that you are not mature enough, and that you always have that startup hat and lens, looking into things and problem solving.
Actually, the day one thing is kind of like a metric. As soon as we feel it's day two, if something is repeated, then something is wrong. Either I'm not the best fit, or we gotten lazy, or something. I mean, as soon as we feel we're not in this like pick up things and go, then it's for us to like evaluate what happened.
Totally. And I think it's an exciting thing for a founder, to take on this mindset that they need to be willing to expose themselves to anything and everything, because at the end of the day, that mission, that vision, that seed started in their head, it's their baby, it's their responsibility in the beginning. Until it has arms and legs, they should be ready to sort of wear multiple hats. 100%. And thank you for that, Hassan. Mohammed, I want to go global with you now, and I know that you've been engaged in several instances building teams globally and just having that sort of cross-market scaling experience. So, would love to understand from you, what are the biggest operational challenges that are? Let's talk about challenges. Not everything is easy in the entrepreneurial journey. So, what are some of the scaling operational challenges that are associated with scaling across regions? And that could be logistics, hiring, compliance, anything. But anything that you would like to share with the group of founders with us today, so that they have that expectation early on.
Yeah, interesting question. Now, you need to know my personality there. I don't think there's any challenge that is too big for a founder to tackle. So it's operational.
That's a nice mindset.
I look at it as operational tasks, right? So for example, I built in Al Musafir, let's say, we had to build a call center and fulfillment center in Egypt, right? And we needed hundreds of people. And how do you do that? So the first thing is you need to figure out the legalities. Am I allowed to open an entity in Egypt? Where do I hang this entity? Now, the solution to that is don't try it yourself, because you're too stupid to do it. You need to appreciate that. Get a lawyer, and get a lawyer on the ground. And not only a lawyer, get someone in Egypt who I would call the fixer. So someone who can cut through the noise and get to the right decision maker and have a conversation to really understand what is allowed, what is not allowed. And these things, right? The second thing that you will face is if you want to build something remotely, that is not, and this is why I don't like these new work setups or whatever they call them. I like the feeling of people in the office, right? And really, culture is built when you hang out over lunch or coffee. It's especially in the early days. You can transition to another model later. But let's say I have a very strong nucleus of people sitting in Riyadh or Dubai or Jeddah, and then you build, which I've done. I built an office in Indonesia, right? And I have 50 people in Indonesia. You need to make sure that they carry your values, they follow your vision, they relate to you personally, rather than the guy managing this development center on the ground. Because this guy might get poached by someone and then they will follow him. Now, I don't want them to follow him. I want them to be loyal to my company, right? And to the values and the vision that I have. So you need to spend time on the ground. I think this is Second thing, you need to be the one face they recognize first. So the way I tackled it, for example, when I decided I want to hire 15 developers in Indonesia, 20 developers in Indonesia, I was always the first interview. Always.
Yeah.
And I was always the last interview. Right. And in my first interview, I talked about my vision, my values, and what I expect actually from the team. And I said, look, I'm hiring you because I only hire mini CEOs. I'm convinced that you are someone that can take action, that can take decisions. You don't need me to be next to you, but I'm always approachable. Call me whenever you want. Here's my number in the first. So you set the tone that this is not hierarchical, because some people that are not with you day to day in the office might be hierarchical.
Yeah.
I want to tell them that I'm, as a CEO, always reachable for you. There is no hierarchy in this organization, and so on. Right. So there's a couple of techniques to do that. And then you use recruitment companies when you're abroad that gives you leads, and you spend time, the first 20 candidates that they bring, I always spend time with them in the screening calls so that they understand how I think. And then I pull myself out a little bit. But to me, that's CEO job. Right? That's CEO job, or COO, like whatever, at least it's a founder job.
Of course, especially with hiring. Yeah, especially with hiring, because
Yes.
and maintaining culture across geography is very difficult, honestly.
That's the only difficult thing. Yes. Everything
Yeah.
else is doable via people, partners, also service providers.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned something
Hassan, what do
important.
you think?
Yeah,
Because
Hassan, I'd
Hassan
love
is
to hear
also
from you.
international. He flies around all the time.
Yeah. So I'm flying around, exactly, for that reason. I mean, you need the interaction. You need the interaction with the team.
Yeah.
But I started the company. I mean, the current company I started during COVID, where being together was just not an option, right? You can build a team remote first. It does work. And you can build actually super strong relationship. But you have, and people think that if basically you are a remote first company, that you are saving a lot of money because you're not paying rent and whatnot, which is completely not true. What I'm saving in terms of not paying rent for offices, I'm actually investing again and more into basically doing quarterly, we call them offsites and onsites. Onsites meaning bring everyone to Silicon Valley, bring everyone in the company to Silicon Valley. We're 2 weeks together. We don't do much product development anymore. It's just brainstorming and thinking and a retrospective and etc., etc. So it's like very social engagement, 2 weeks of intense social engagement, so that the team can go back into their homes and they have so much energy, which basically they packed during these 2 weeks, that is enough for the team to like stick around for, I mean, and focus and work and pull from for another quarter, 2 quarters, sometimes even longer. So you're not saving money by basically being remote first. But the reason I did remote first was COVID, but later also because talent is not all in one location. You want the talent, you want to be where the talent is, in particular if it comes to AI and whatnot. And the AI, the talent is everywhere. It's not only in Silicon Valley. It's not only in Germany and whatnot. It's everywhere. So we have people in Senegal, and we have in Egypt, and we have in Riyadh, we have in Dubai, we have in Germany, we have in Brazil, etc. Because that's where the talent is. But it's something which Muhammad said, I like, and actually we live that. Everyone needs to be a CEO, and everyone needs to be entrepreneurial. Meaning everyone is an ambassador to the company, right? I mean, if I'm hiring my engineers, I probably interview 100 engineers before I hire one.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not even joking. I'm investing in so much until we basically have the right engineer. But this engineer, they don't care. They are feeling that they are the founder of the company. Perfect. This is what I want. And they basically then are like a core of another team around them, which is basically being built and so forth. And that's excellent. That's what I need. Yeah. So Culture.
Hassan, thank
It
you.
comes all back to culture at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
culture is extremely important. Underrated. Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you so much, Muhammad. This has been really, really valuable. You guys have shared a lot of golden nuggets that I do hope that people and founders with us on the call today took note of. We sort of are nearing the end of our conversation. Unfortunately, it's 3, but any sort of final quick words that you would like to share with the founders as we close this session?
Set the tone on day one. Because if you don't set the tone, you will not scale. You need owners, you need doers, and you need people you can trust blindly. I think these are the 3 things. Without them, you will never scale.
Thank you, Muhammad.
I would summarize what Muhammad said into the concept of culture again. I mean, I'm repeating the concept of culture and having this motivation and like entrepreneurial spirit across the company. Actually, that's very important. Focus on that.
What a kickoff to the week, Muhammad and Hassan. Honestly, thank you so much for this and for all the knowledge that you shared with us today. This would be the end of the fireside chat today. Sohaib, over to you.
Thank you so much
It's
to
a
Hassan,
pleasure.
and thank you to Muhammad. Much appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you to the amazing Omar. Now we're going to be shifting gears over to the next part of this particular session. And honestly, she's been really, really amazing. So you're going to be meeting the next amazing person, who's Zareen Bashoushi. So I'll be handing the mic over to her. I'm not going to introduce her because I think she is amazing, and she's going to do a much better job introducing herself than I'll ever will. So Zareen Bashoushi, the mic is over to you.
Thank you so much. So today we're going to spend 2 hours together speaking about scaling operations. And first, I want to start saying congratulations to everyone that made it to this exclusive program. This is my 2nd time working with this program. And to be honest, I just enjoyed so much. So a bit about myself. Who am I? Big question, right? So first, I am a VP of marketing at a company called Context AI. So as its name explain it, it works on AI, everything linked to helping companies and government build, prepare, and create their own AI, right? But above that, I'm a go-to-market growth and internationalization expert. I've been doing this for many years. And I started 15 years ago within a company called Meltwater. And I had the chance to work there for 14 years from startup to IPO. So I had the chance to see the entire journey there. And I have been for like over 6 years now, advising and working with startups and businesses because I just enjoy it, right? So don't hesitate to add me on my LinkedIn. Also for after this program, I will be glad to continue following your journey, guys. And a personal thing about me, I'm actually a very optimistic and positive person, as you probably will see. So I see opportunities and positive stuff everywhere. Even if it looks like challenging, it's actually never a negative thing. It's always an opportunity. So now let's drive into the agenda for today, what I'm going to share with you. So first, we're going to discuss about what's scaling, when to scale, what are the key metrics to help you decide when to scale. Sorry, I did something with my... There is always a technical thing, right? To help you like get in the right mood. Sorry, I'm not sharing anymore, right?
No, you're not. It's okay.
Yeah, I accidentally touched something.
That happens. If you don't touch something, it means that we're not working. So it has to be.
Exactly. Sorry, apologize for that. View, full screen, and share again. Good now?
There we go. We can see it now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
So I was saying key metrics to help you decide when to scale and if you are scaling too early or too late. It's never too late, but it's more like let's make sure that you don't scale too early. Then we will review the 3 P's of scaling. Like people, we are going to obviously dig into that tomorrow. But the 2 main points today is going to be about process, how to build a process, give you some example of sales processes, and also the documentation behind it. And finally, planning, how to make things simple and automate it, especially around AI stack. And to start with, I would like to kick this with few questions. I want to better understand you guys. And first of all, I think we're going to have a poll now coming up. Is it this case? Tell me, Suhaib, if yes.
Yes. I think it's just we're just loading it.
Cool. Think about your top objective for the rest of the year. Like we still have 6 months to go. What do you want to achieve this year? Is it more revenue? Is it like being more stable? Is it getting the right team in place? Is it set up your processes? What is it? One big objective. Do you see the poll, guys? I can.
Yes. Yeah, I think we have 4 people that answered or 5 people that are answering.
Okay,
7.
cool.
Okay, that's good.
So let's wait 5, like few seconds. So how can we share the poll result? I can't see it on my screen. Apology.
Yeah, I think once we end the poll, I think that's when the results will show.
Okay. So as you can see, that's the first time we do it this way, guys. Oh, personally, that's the first time I do it this way. But I wanted to have some words and understand this. So can we hit share and see the results?
Yes.
I see process. A lot want to work on the process. What else? You're viewing the poll results. Okay, process, that's good. Like, let's move on with the next question, actually, which is, tell me, Suhaib, you wanted
Maybe
to say something?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Just I think because of the polls, maybe something to do is just to have maybe everybody write it down on the chat.
On the
That
comment?
could be maybe
Good for
in
me,
the
yeah.
comment section. I think
Yes.
that could be easier.
Okay, yeah, traditional ways. You see, sometimes technology can work against us, guys, and you will see it later. AI is the same. You need to be careful. So let's move on, move out from the poll and quiz and do it on the chat. Which of these do you believe is the most difficult to scale successfully, to help you scale? Is it people? Is it process? Is it planning? Where do you have challenges? People. People, yeah, process, people, planning. People. Okay, we have a winner, people. So luckily for you guys, tomorrow we have a full session around that, because indeed it's often one of the most challenging parts, because processes, you can work on it, you can automate a lot of things, but the human capital, the difference in culture, setting up the right things has always been a challenge for all, so main founders and startups, to be honest. And then my last questions for you is more about what makes a great company according to you? Like, is it about raising money? Is it a great culture? Is it the ability to create profitability and return on investment? What do you think makes a great company? Culture, People, team. So your biggest challenge is probably what you think would make the best, would make you a very good company. That's funny, right? System, yeah, culture and team, system, value created. Yeah, okay, so common theme here. That's quite interesting to see. But then let's dive a little bit on what makes a great company, right? So what's the secret sauce? And I would break it down in 4 points right now. First, think about your company's money like water in the desert. Every drop counts, right? So as a leader, your job is to make sure that every real you spend brings back more value. We call this enterprise value. So you always have to ask yourself, are you just spending money or are you investing it? Because that's a big difference. The second point is like a great company is like a magical machine, right? You put money in and it should give you even more money back. But you need to know which button to push. Are you investing in the right places? Are you focusing on things that really matter to your customers? So a great company should be a value creation machine. Then a third point is actually quite important because I want to make sure that you think beyond people management. So obviously, as you all say, people is important, true. Managing people is very important, but great leaders do more than that. They manage capital. They are like expert chess player, always thinking about the next move. Where should we invest next? How can we get the best return on investment? So managing capital is extremely important to be a great company. And finally, and this is, I would say, the billion real questions, are you growing fast or are you growing strong? Because great companies don't do sprint, they run marathons. They grow in a way that makes them stronger and stronger and more sustainable over time. So that's my 4 points. And here a challenge. Look at your company. Are you just running a business or are you building a great company? And to move on that, let's dive into the first part, which is foundation of scaling. Well, we all know about the journey of a startup. There is finding the right product for your market, which we call product market fit. Then there is a figuring out how to sell it well, which is your go-to-market fit. And once you've nailed both of those, comes the third step, scaling. So scaling is when you have a great product that people want. And now it's time to grow big. And when I say great product, it's great product or great service, right? So just remember that. But scaling isn't just about getting bigger. As Mohammed shared it earlier, it doesn't just mean hiring more people or raising more money. It's about growing smarter. It's about making sure your company becomes more profitable as it grows. So what does scaling actually looks like? It means that your service or product works very well as is. You know exactly how to sell it and and actually it works every time you try to sell it. And every new hire you make bring in more value than they cost. Exactly as Mohammed explained it, right? Every new person should bring more value than their own costs. So the big question now is your business ready for this step? Can you grow without spending too much money? Are you ready to grow smartly and profitability? And profitability is a very important word here. That's what the slide is about. Scaling only when you're truly ready. And I don't know if you are aware that 75% of startups fail at the Series C stage. It's the same failure rate as a Series A. And I was very surprised when I saw this, but why does this happen, right? It's actually because a lot of startups try to grow too fast without having solid foundation in place. So what's the secret to scaling successfully? I'm sharing this slide, which is actually insights from a guy called Mark Roberge. He's the former chief revenue officer at HubSpot, a company that I love that has been so successful, a very great success story. And the first big idea he had is like, don't just focus on growing fast. Instead, make sure your current customers are very happy and they continue using your product. It's called revenue retention. It's logical. It's much easier to grow when your customer love you and when they stick around, right? And the second big idea around that is like the revenue, so the money you make, is just the result of creating value for your customers. It's not the main goal. So what does this mean? This is very customer-centric thinking. Because in today's world, where customers like really switch very quickly to competitors, they're not that loyal. It's very important to keep them, to understand them, to make sure that everything you create within your company is made for happiness, for creating value for them. Again, let's be clear. Scaling is about building. It's like building the house. You need a strong foundation first. You have to take your time. You have to make sure your product really fits what your customer need. So before you start thinking about scaling up, ask yourself, are my current customer happy? Is my churn under control? Is my product solving a real problem for them? Is it a must-have, or is it just a nice-to-have? Can I keep providing great value even if I grow bigger? So if you can say yes, then maybe you're just ready to scale, right? Okay, so ready to scale or not? When am I ready to scale? I'm going to show you a few key benchmarks that will help you and help guide you. Just keep in mind, every industry had its own benchmark, its own numbers. So these benchmarks that I'm going to show now are B2B SaaS companies. Are for B2B SaaS companies, sorry. Like it can change, it can be different from market to another, from a sector to another, and you can actually find your own benchmark just by asking Perplexity or any other AI tool about it. Like you'll see, like today there is so many articles, so many info about that you can just put up what you do, what's your sector, and ask what are the benchmarks that would help me understand this and this and this. So to start with, for SaaS in B2B, the benchmark to consider is like first, gross customer retention. It has to be at 90% at least. It measures how well you're keeping your customer. So if you are retaining 90% or higher your client, it means that you are delivering value. If you start the year with 100 customers and keep at least 90 by the end of the year, you're in a very good place, basically. It's your retention, it's your, or your churn. You can also see it like this, right? Another one is actually lifetime value, the LTV. It should be like 3-to-1 to your customer acquisition cost, your CAC, which means for every real you're spending on acquiring a customer, you should be getting at least 3 real, sorry if I'm not saying it right, 3 real back during their lifetime with you. If it's lower, it might mean that your customer acquisition costs are too high, so you're spending a lot to get new customer. Or it might need that you need to refine your strategy. Maybe there is other issues to fix, right? Another one is actually for quota for your sales team. So again, in SaaS, they say at least 50% of your rep should be hitting or exceeding their sales target. If you have 10 sales rep, at least 5 of them should be hitting the quota. You can mix that with the fact that 70% of all your reps should be then at least 70% of their quota. It's okay if they don't all attain their quota, but at least they're bringing 70%. Why is that? Because at least you cover their costs. But it's not only salary. Their cost is like the training cost, the fact that in the first month they didn't like they costed more than they brought, obviously. It's also about premises. It's also about how much you're spending to develop your tool, your service, etc., etc. So that's why it's important to at least have them hitting 70%. Another point is, I don't know if you heard about this, about how we call like crossing the chasm. It's when you shift from selling to early adopter to attracting the broader market, the early majority. It's a key milestone. For example, if you have gone from selling to startups to now you're selling to larger, more traditional companies, that's a strong sign that you are kind of ready to get bigger. Finally, or almost finally, I would say, clearly identifying your ICP, your ideal customer profile. These are the customers who benefit the most from your product. They are the ones that are raving fans, that they will be ambassadors for you, they will be speaking about others, they need you. They are the ones that really are, this is a must-have tool or must-have product for me. And I think I have a last point is, you need a large, clearly identified and underpenetrated total addressable market. If your product currently serves a niche market, but has the potential to reach a larger, underserved segment, it's probably going to be cool, right? It's going to be a growth opportunity. So before moving forward, ask yourself, are you meeting most of this benchmark? Are you scaling from a position of strength? And that's it. So as I said, you can later on check up this online and personalize them for your own sector and your own company. What if I scale too early? Actually, Hassan said it beautifully earlier. It's an input goal or an output result. You are not scaling too early if you are scaling revenue. That's true. But what happens when you really scale too early? Because imagine you're putting together a complex piece of furniture at home. You're watching TV and at the same time, you're not paying attention, and then you're skipping an important step. You don't notice that you're skipping a step until your furniture is not actually fitting. It's going to collapse. What you have to do is actually taking the whole thing apart, find the misstep and rebuild from scratch. It's really frustrating. It's a waste of time. And scaling too early can actually feel this way, right? It's the same thing. If you try to grow before fully establishing some, like for example, your product market fit, or before your sales and marketing processes are solid, it's like skipping these crucial steps. You might think adding more salespeople or spending more money on marketing will drive growth faster. It usually leads inefficiencies, it can be wasted resources, or you will have to go back and fix things later anyway. So think about it this way, because the cost of rebuilding can be high. It can impact your team's morale. It can impact the trust of your investor or your satisfaction, your customer satisfaction, right? And remember that disassembling and rebuilding your business processes takes up valuable time, energy, resources. So be careful. Think about it, as said, and we will see a lot today, the basic to help you create these foundations. The foundation, this foundation. Otherwise, the risk is having to backtrack, as I said, rebuild, and that will cost you a lot more in time, in money, and in morale. Now, we are going to talk about the 3 most important things for scaling your business, and I have 5 more minutes about it. Amazing. We call them the 3 Ps. So think of these as the engine, the roadmap, and the fuel for your business growth, right? To scale well, you have to focus on these 3. First, people, getting the right team. I would say getting the right team, but also retaining the right talents, making sure that they stay with you. And we will see all of this tomorrow, as I said earlier. The second point, which is the roadmap, right? The process. have good ways of working, making sure that anyone that comes in your company know what he needs to do, how he needs to do it in a successful way, in a way that works, like best practices for your own company, in your own sector, to make your client happy. And finally, the planning, how to think ahead, like make sure that you anticipate and think ahead all of these things. Because yeah, that's actually my last slide, which is the people aspect, which we will see tomorrow. As you said before, and I had it on my slide, this is the difficult and hardest part. It's not just about hiring more people, as I said before. It's not about hiring people that have a good CV and will be a good fit into my company. It's actually about making sure that the people you bring on board have not only the right skills, but are focused on the right areas and are supported by the right leadership, and obviously that they are the right culture fit for you. Because a bad apple, if you put it in a very good I don't know how you say, basket of great apples and healthy apples, will rot all of them. So every person count, actually. And there is this quote that I love that I heard from an entrepreneur a while ago, is like, hire slowly, fire quickly. And this is something that has been extremely difficult for me in the past. And now I wish, I really wish I knew that before, because yeah, again, that was an important one. So get it right. You'll have a solid foundation for scaling your business. That said, we have 3 more minutes for questions before taking a break. So do we have any questions here? Everything is cool. Wow, it seems very... here you go. What was the meaning of attaining quota? Great. So if you have a sales team, like a commercial team that is trying to sell to enterprises or to government agencies or to big companies or small SMBs, right? They need KPIs, they need a quota. And you create your quota, and we might see it tomorrow a little bit more, based on how much money you need over the year, how much money you created in terms of what you need to achieve your goals. So every month, month, I'm gonna make it, every month and every quarter, they have a quota. So quota can be by quarter. For example, a salesperson should bring $100,000 a quarter or a year. And they need to achieve this quota at least by 70% to make sure for you that, yeah, it's not ideal, of course, but at least you covered your costs and at least you're not losing. So this is B2B or B2G exactly, yes. But you know, in B2C as well, you should have quotas. Your quotas are just calculated differently. Quotas here could be done by partnerships, by distribution. So if you have then a head of partnership that will help you get the word out there about your tool, about your service, and create more traction of your B2C or your client, your customers there, you can still put him a quota. And a quota can be, I want X amount of revenue from X amount of people, or I want a user traction of 1,000 people by the end of the quarter. So that's actually this. So is there an equation for the B2B quota? Yes, obviously. And as I said, you can find it in Perplexity based on your sector, because this is really very sector specific. If you have an app, is different than if you're selling retailer or e-commerce online, right? So I would really advise you to put it exactly for you. That's it. So the other question is like, what is CAC means? Very good questions. Is the cost of your client acquisition costs. It's actually how much money you are spending in order to get one client. Meaning how it's calculated is, for example, you are spending some money on marketing for a campaign. Let's say you're spending $1,000. And sorry, I'm going to speak in dollars. $1,000 for a marketing campaign. And from this marketing campaign, you are getting 1,000 users at the end, right? So your cost, your CAC is $1 because you get for 1,000, you get 1,000. It's $1 out, $1 in. But you also need to take into account in this cost if this marketing campaign was set up for B2B and government enterprises, for example, as clients. So you have this marketing campaign, but then there is someone picking up the phone, a commercial, a sales guy, picking up the phone and calling them to get the sales done. This have costs. So you need to add to this client acquisition cost a little bit, which is a calculation that is quite easy that you can find out as well online, into like how much is the cost of this person, how long it takes this sales guy to close the deal, and how much they will close, etc., etc. So that's also something that you can calculate very simply, but based on what type of business you have and B2B versus B2C, etc. All of this information, as long as you understand they exist, you can very easily AI, hello, how can I calculate my CAC? I have this company, this is my type of client, this is my country, etc., etc. And why I'm saying this? Because there is no excuses today anymore. We have so many AI tools and so many help that I want you to be aware of what exists in terms of concept. But the main thing is having you guys go there and test it and help it and ask with the right questions, meaning putting the right information about you, about what your company does, how many people you have, what is your target audience, etc., to get the best output from AI, the best results that is very personalized to you. Good. We have a break, guys, for 15 minutes. I can see there is another question. Oh, another one. So let's take them later, if you agree, because I think it's probably best that we take the break now, because some of you might want to take some time for them. And come back later, and I will address these questions in the second part.
Cool. Sorry, maybe if you could kindly click maybe on the next slide, and we'll activate the timer on there as well.
Hey.
All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you so much.
See you in a bit.
We are back.
Yes, we are back.
So we should continue then.
Yes, we should.
Coolio. Great. So as you can see on my screen, this is part 2. It's gonna be about processes, right? Standard operating procedure, exactly, what we call SOPs. So the foundation of efficiency in any business in general. It's like the building instructions for your piece of furniture we discussed about earlier, right? It's like knowing exactly what to do, where to do, how to do it, kind of instructions. It's going to be a 20-minute session before we dive into discussion. And the first focus I wanted to be on sales, because it's a critical area, obviously. And I want this to illustrate what is a process. So first, the slide provide a very high level overview of a typical B2B sales journey, from lead generation to the handoff to customer success. It outlined the key stages and ensure that your team knows what to do at each step. It is not exactly a SOP yet, we will see it later, but it is the high level that kind of explain you. So it's how you can structure your process and help train your new hire, also ensure seamless teamwork, that everyone knows what to do when, etc., etc. When you implement SOPs at each stage of this sales process that you see now, you create consistency, you improve the hands-off, and you reduce errors and mistakes. And that's how you build a reliable revenue system. All examples we will see in the coming slides are going to be for B2B SaaS company. But obviously, in terms of B2C, in terms of B2G, etc., everything changes, right? But the concepts are always the same. So you probably have your own sales method or methodology or process in your B2C. So if it's through your website because you're e-commerce or through your app, at the end of the day, you just need to create a sales process and understand the customer journey. That's the key, right? And this is where we really see SOP. It's actually what we just saw, the high level, so discovery, demo, assist, proposal, right? The entire sales process that I showed you earlier, but in depth. Because here you can see really specific stage, and for each stage, you define who is responsible within your team, what key action they need to take, what the exit criteria must be met, sorry, before moving forward, before moving to the next step, what they need to do first before going to the demo, for example, after the discovery session. This exit area help you organize and ensure that the opportunities progress at the right pace. It's not too fast, it's just you cross everything you need to cross, and that will lead you here to a successful deal that is closed. And that's why we usually set up proper exit areas, exit criteria, sorry, from a stage to another, that people know, now I can move on and I can, for example, send the proposal to my legal because I already crossed all the things that I needed to do with the client first, with the prospect first. So a well-structured process reduces friction, it improves customer retention, it drives long-term success, because at the end of the day, the goal is to really make sure that everyone in your company knows their role and understand how they contribute to a smooth customer journey, which will lead to happy customer at the end of the day. Let's actually quickly clarify something, which is the difference between SOP, playbooks, the how-to guides, the checklists, the templates, because they each serve a different purpose, and usually teams just confuse them, right? So SOPs, as I just mentioned, the standard operating procedures, that's the basic of everything. It's the routine, the repeatable tasks that need to happen, and they give you step-by-step instruction to ensure consistency, to ensure accuracy. For example, a SOP for onboarding will tell you, send a welcoming email, then set up the product, then schedule a training. So it's like a really routine, a repeatable task that everyone needs to do when, for example, a new client is onboarded. On the other hand, playbook. It's for strategic decision making. They are more flexible, and they guide you through different approaches based on the situation. So a playbook would say, here are 3 ways to onboard a client. It would depend on industry, size of the client, and need of the client. You have to pick the one that fit best. So it will actually give you the 3 ways, and you can decide strategically which one you need to adopt for that specific client to onboard him. So that's a bit the difference. The how-to guides. I love how-tos. As you can see, these are one of mine. I love it because it really it's the heart of SOP. They walk you through the exact step. How should it be done? Especially for like some people like me that are a bit control freaks. Sorry to say it this way, but they are quite important for us. And then there is the checklist. Yes. They ensure that no steps are missed. Very easy. I also like a lot checklist because then it's easy. Check, 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 check. We've done all the steps. We didn't miss anything. These are very important, for example, when it comes to legal stuff or compliance in general. If you are in a business that is highly regulated, like fintech or insurance or this type of like companies where really regulation is very important, checklists are the best to help you make sure that your team doesn't miss anything when it's linked to, for example, getting to know the customer better, getting to have all the documentation, etc., etc. And finally, templates. Obviously, it's like the emails templates or like forms or any type of templates can just be plugged in either your SOP or your playbook. It depends on the use case, and you can actually have them everywhere. So every time, for example, the best sales guy would have few emails that he always use. You just take it and make it a template for all the rest of the team to use it because he's doing something right. Probably he has a good conversion linked to this templates email, right? So now, just quickly, how to build SOP fast. There is many ways. Obviously now with AI again, you can just ask directly, what are the best practices in terms of creating my SOP for this type of business that I have? This is my audience. This is the problem I have with my sales team. I want my sales team to do ABC. Give me examples of processes that I can help. So you can take them and obviously update them and make them their own. The thing is that I have other ways to do it, and I prefer the other ways, which is, oh, sorry, I went too fast, which is recording myself. Like I'm explaining to my new intern or any new person how to do something. So you record it like with screen, with a like Loom video, with a video, etc. And you just walk them through everything. And then you take this recording, you transcribe it. So there is many tools that can do it. I'm using, for example, to transcribe all my meetings, a tool, an app called Minutes. It counts out all the minutes. So I always have minutes and everything transcribed in my app. And I take the transcribe and I ask to AI tool again, either ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using, please can you take from this transcription, from my recording, all the process, like set it up, create a process out of it, create the sub for all my team to follow exactly what I've done. And when I prompt it, when I explain it, I really make sure that I said, please use my exact wordings, please use extracts of what I said, of what I did, etc., etc. So the more detailed you are and the more precise you are with any AI input you're giving to ChatGPT or whatever, the better would be your result. And that's why I prefer to do it through this way, because I know I'm going to be better explaining it because I know my business. I know what I want to see. I know how I do it today. I know how it's done today. I'm not saying that it's the best way. I'm saying like start from there. If you want to improve it after, you first create your SOP there, and then you ask ChatGPT, this is my SOP today, yes. How can I improve it a little bit to make it quicker or faster, or to make sure that people understand it better because it's not clear enough, it's not concrete enough, blah, blah, blah. And that's actually gold, because any AI is as good as what you are putting into it in terms of information. And just a parenthesis, because I think it's an important point. As I said, I'm recording a lot on my on minutes and stuff. I obviously always ask people, can I record our conversation? And then I use really this transcribe to get the input, to input it into my AI, and from there ask them to use that specific data to help me create output that are relevant. It's not only create my agenda or create it. It's like, where do you feel we have a challenge with this client? Do you feel his hesitation? Where do you think I can serve him best? What he's looking for? And I would brainstorm with the AI based on my conversations of the team or of my client, etc., etc. So I can get angles of information I haven't seen during the call or I haven't seen during the meeting. So make sure that anything you do with AI is really using your own input to get the best output that is really personable to you. Parenthesis closed. Yeah, let's move quickly. So now I'm just focusing a little bit more on the customer journey mapping. It's actually how you can visualize standardized data across the entire client lifecycle. It's very important. This is an example made by Winning by Design, again, B2B SaaS, as I said, which cover all the stages. Outside, it's not only lead generation, you do the sale, then you onboard, then you make sure that you're in the adoption phase doing some stuff, and then how to expand the client sales, right? So each stage is really tied to specific action that need to be done in order to improve the customer experience. And why I'm showing you this, because in B2B and B2C, and we will see it tomorrow, you really have to understand and create and visualize your customer journey map, because it is understanding how your clients is going through, what he's doing, and that's how you say, oh, he's doing that, this is what I need to do to make it better or to give him something he needs. And I wanted to show you that in order to also show you how you can then create playbooks based on every single stage, right? And playbooks, as I said, it's like the Swiss Army knives of scaling your business. They offer clear guidance to your team. They outline what to do at every phase, whether here like demand generation for marketing, for example, lead generation, onboarding, customer success. It really drives consistency and efficiency. And again, creating playbook like SOPs can be done through AI very easily, as long as you put the right data and explain how you do it today, how your best sales team are doing prospecting, or how your best sales guy is doing prospecting. He should explain it to a new person and you record it, and from that you create a playbook. Or how the best client success person in your team or the client support in your team is handling the requests. And same, they record, they share, and then they may ask AI how to improve it to get that type of result, etc., etc. This is another example of how to use customer journey. So based on the customer journey map, here, for example, we had to map all client communication, so all interactions with our clients, to make sure that we are not overwhelming them, because there is sales team doing something with them, there is marketing team sending emails, there is maybe client success reaching out, etc., etc. So when you visualize and set up things, you kind of spot communication gaps, overlaps, you understand the frequency and timing of interaction. Are you harassing your clients or not? Are you leaving them too much alone and you need to step up a bit more, etc., etc. So you kind of identify opportunities when you do it this way. And you can then optimize your communication strategy at every single stage of their journey with you. So that's a very cool way to use the customer mapping. Now let's take another example on after you close a sale, when you onboard a client. This is a process of client onboarding. It's a structured SOP that help you outline both the plan and the timeline of how you're onboarding your client. Like it includes everything from sending the welcoming email, conducting kickoff calls, what milestones, and how to transition this client to customer success. And why I wanted to show you this, because I want you to understand in B2C, B2B, or B2G, any kind of sector as well, that when you think about creating a great experience for your client, you need to map it out. You need to write it down and document it for your team to stay aligned and meet all deadlines and giving them the best experience you can give. And almost my last slide. This is just a step further of the onboarding part, which is actually something you can even share with your client directly when you close the contract, explaining them this is what is going to happen with you. And this is like a repeatable framework that can guarantee that every client will receive the high quality and consistent experience throughout their first real interaction and experience with you as a company. And that's why it's so important, because before that, they are selling, they don't know. This is your moment of truth. This part is like where he said, I did well by working with them. And again, to give the last example before the breakout rooms, use templates. Again, especially for client faces communication, like everything you send to clients, everything your clients see on your website, any emails you send, make sure that you have a consistent on-brand communication with a standardized messaging, like how you want to be perceived as a company, what is your tone of voice, what is your style, how he feels your value. And that having this type of templates, again, will just make sure that you are efficient, consistent, and you can scale with the right mind, the right communication. And that said, it's time to do some exercises with our amazing mentors. And the idea now is for 25 minutes to have you imagine if your customer base grow by 10 times overnight, like tomorrow, you wake up, you are, mashallah, alhamdulillah, ya Rabbi, 10 times more clients. What's the first thing that would break? Like, think about it, right? This exercise is designed to surface and show you the weak points in your business that might handle, that might not help you scale, and that needs to be fixed, actually. And here are the instructions. So you will do it with your mentor. Your mentor will share the template that I'm showing right now on the right. The idea is for you to introduce yourself very briefly, please. We'll have plenty of time to get more and get to know you more and your company. Just briefly, who you are, what's your company about in one sentence, and that's your elevator pitch there, please. Then you are going to look with your mentor to the list that you see on the right, like customer support, capacity, technology, onboarding process. And you're going to think, okay, what is the most at risk? One or two areas. What are the things that can break if I have more customer? What processes are slowing your team down? This is the other question I want you to think about. Today, what you would like to automate, what is slowing you down, why it's not going faster, why it's not going more efficient, and which area would benefit really from automation today. What you think, if I had someone that know more about AI, what I would ask him to automate, what is the first project I want them to work on. Don't overthink this. I just want you to speak it up and spar and discuss with your teammate and the mentors. So again, it's about discussing, brainstorming, sharing one's really weak spot and why it is a challenge, and trying to find a solution or discuss what type of improvement we'll have. That said, I think we are going to split into your breakout rooms. Anything to add, Suhaib?
Yes. So given that this is the first time for you guys to jump into breakout rooms, so we're going to go as per the group that you're in, or that you're in your WhatsApp. So if some of you are, let's say, group 1, it says G1 on your WhatsApp group, then you're with Umar, and then you're going to go to group breakout room number 1. Okay? For those of you that are not familiar with breakout rooms, so it's very simple. At the very bottom, you'll see a word that says, or a button that says breakout rooms. Just click on it and then go to your group. For those that are on your phone, you'll see a word that says more. So you click on it and then it says breakout room. Do we have any questions? If we can have the mentors, please move over to their breakout rooms, and the team also as well. And then the team and I will stay here to support anybody who's having any challenges with jumping into the breakout rooms. By the way, I'm expecting questions. Like usually this happens on each and every single day, where we have people that are still not sure where to go. Does anybody know? Do you guys know which groups you're supposed to go to? Okay, that's good. I'm seeing the numbers like it's going less. So that's good.
So Mona is asking how to join the group.
Yes. So click on the breakout rooms. You'll see a button that says, how do you know where to go? Based on the group. So take a look at your phone and see which WhatsApp group are you a part of, and then jump to that group. Do we have anybody who is not a part of a WhatsApp group? That's a whole different issue.
Core market, between your core market and emerging markets. So your core market is where your business already has a strong presence, existing customer that you can develop more. And in day 3, we will discuss a lot about this, how to expand internally in your core market, right? But there is also this opportunity with emerging markets, like maybe a new niche, a new segment you want to go after, or a new international expansion. And here the challenge is going to be about allocating resources efficiently. As I said before, manage your capital, right? So you can keep driving growth in established market while exploring new ones, but you need a very strong, clear revenue plan, and make sure that you still focus on the right focus to drive growth and expand. Don't try to do everything at the same time, because then you are going to lose, or you can actually spend a lot of money with little return. So be careful with that. Other is partnership. Planning for growth isn't something you can do alone. You need buy-in from internal team members, collaboration from your key stakeholders across the business. So your sales guys, the marketing, finance, operation, they have to also help you create this plan. They know a lot of things because they speak with the clients. They see the challenges in your company that maybe you don't see in the operation. They can help you a lot. So once you create a plan, you can make a workshop with your head of sales, head of marketing, etc., and see what they say, what are the input there. And even if you have your plan and you want to continue do your plan, like you can maybe make them feel that they co-created the plan, and that will make it more powerful anyway. Finally, investing in the right tools, of course, like just from a CRM point of view, from everything linked to automation, forecasting. I know it's money, and that's why you need to really get the right tool, the most important one, the essential one that will help you quickly have this jump. And I'm going to share with you a few tools after that are more AI related, but that still can help. So one of the last point actually that I really wanted to focus on today is, before investing in AI, you really must optimize your process, guys. Processes is number one, because a lot of people, I've seen so many companies that are supercharging their teams with AI, and everyone has this little chat GPT on the side and doing their own things in their own way and spending money every month on it, etc., with a very bad process in place. And it's actually harming more than anything else, because if you have the right processes and then you insert AI within these processes, you're just more efficient, you just have more money at the end of the day, you just help them focus on the right things. So again, AI is an incredible way to hyper growth, but having strong processes is essential, because if you're deploying AI on broken processes, it's the same thing as I told you earlier, putting up your furniture and forgetting about the piece, and then having to ask your team to de-learn everything they learned in their way of working and then do it again differently. And it's a mess, right? So please make sure that you get this right. Now I'm going to very quickly go through some automation tools, like 3 actually. There is a lot more, and I heard some of you are using already other stuff. Like I heard Auto earlier, but to start with, like obviously, you know that you need to streamline your processes and reduce your errors by automating. And I think Zapier is the most well-known, the more simple and quicker to integrate into your workflow because it helps you connect all your apps like your CRM, email, task, etc., etc. And it's quite easy to set up. So again, if you're not this type of person that like to create tech thing, give this project, like special project, to someone in your team that is a bit geeky. Like always try to find the talents within your teams that are outside of their scope. Maybe your sales guy. Sorry, maybe Ryan, sorry, can you mute? I can hear. Thank you. Maybe your sales guy is a geek. He loves doing this, like setting up some stuff, etc. You can give him a special project, like at the end of the month, I would like you to help me with automating through Zapier, for example, this and this and this process. That will always help. The second tool is make.com. It's a little bit more for complex workflow, but it has a very visual interface. It's ideal for processes that involve multi-steps or multi-decisions. Also very easy to use, to be honest. All of this can be used by people that are not technical. It's just something that you just need to have the logic, basically. And there is also this one that offers open source flexibility. So it's more technical, I'd say. It gives technical team control over the integration that are more customized for them. So yeah, it's more security as well because it gives you a self-host, etc., etc. But anyway, these are just example. Okay, there is so much again out there. The only thing I wanted to show you with this slide is actually there is no more excuse, guys. Like every single tool out there has tutorials on YouTube, guides, communities to support you at every step. You just need to take the time. And to be honest, like 3 years ago, you would have taken a lot more time. Now it's so quick because there is AI to help you, right? So if it's not you as a founder, it's fine. Just give the project to someone and make it happen. At the end of the day, execution is going to be key here to set it up and to automate some things that are so easy to automate, right? Just take the time, take one extra day, take one extra week, make it happen. Stop pushing it to tomorrow. Just make it happen. Sorry, that's my frustration that's going on right there. Then how to build this automated workflow, right? Just you have to start by spotting tasks that are repetitive, that are time consuming. Again, either it's you that does that or someone in your team. He's like, oh, I need to do this again. Oh, then you know. So once you spot that stuff, you map it out, map out your current process. Like I showed you earlier, you just show it. So you do a voice maybe, or you show it, or you create a transcript out of it that can be pushed and put into a AI, right? Next, you define exactly what you want your automation to achieve. You choose the tool that would fit this goal, like we just said, and you develop it and you test it. Quite easy, right? And when you are deciding, when you need to think about, okay, should I hire more people or should I invest in automation? You have to think long term, because automation can bring scalability and consistency. You probably have the right people already in place, but they are not at their best, or they are not at their full capacity, or they are not like given the right tools to perform. When I say tools, the right way to perform, everything is gonna be about training them. I'd rather tell you, you have good people, they are smart, they have the right attitude. Guys, invest in training. Make sure that they take half a day per week to improve how they use AI, how they use automation tool, how to learn from each other, to share best practices, to like it can be learning inside your own team, right? To check tutors online because there is so much information out there that can help them make anyway, right? So invest in your people if you have already great people. If you think they're not that great, maybe you just hire new ones. I don't know. But you need to invest into people that have what we call a growth mindset, people that want to learn more, people that want and need to be AI operators. And that's my next slide, actually. You have to transform tasks that takes time. And all of these are actually this type of tasks to be more efficient, because every single team member, not only future leader actually, but everyone tomorrow is going to be an operator of AI, just a manager of AI, right? And I can see that someone is raising hand. I'm just finishing this slide, and I promise I answer questions, because I wanted to share with you, there is so many things out there, but you can create potentially an AI stack with low code or no code. You don't need to code, you don't need to know anything about programming. You only need to map out what is needed in your company. And again, you don't have to know everything, guys. There is so many new interns, so many young people that are going crazy about AI because they know that their future depends on it. Put them into this project. Make sure that you take someone as an intern to help you shift the way you work, with benchmark so many tools, understand the challenges, and create a map of where can we set up few AI processes that would help us be better, and pilot it in small. Don't put too much money to start with, see if it works, and then build. Basically, so we are arriving at the time. I wanted to make sure we have few time for questions. So please go ahead. I see hands and I see a few things. OB, I don't know what's the full name, but what's your question?
Sorry. It's my name. I don't know why it's OB. Sorry for that.
No problem. Tell me.
This is Omar from CyberCube. I just want to mention for one thing about when you talk about the teams. Really, I just want to mention for one important. If you want to build your startup, you have to build your great team to build your startups. If you don't have that, because my opinion, you must to build a great team to build your startup. Not to build a startup, then build your great team.
I agree.
This is my point of view. Because when you have a great team, they will help you to scale up very fast.
Totally agree. And you can have the best tool, the best product, the best idea, the best startup on paper, without a good team to execute on it, there is nothing. So we invest. That's why you need to invest in people first, and then anyway you're going to pivot maybe 10 times before you find your product market fit, right? So at the end of the day, you create your startup as you go, but the team is the most important one. So totally agree. And again, tomorrow is going to be a big day about that. But any more questions? So I see we need to know more info about no code, low code. Same here, guys. So there is so much. So you will have this presentation obviously on the tool that the team has shared. There is the slide with few logos and stuff, but there again online you can find so much as long as you ask the right questions, right? So if you want some apps that helps you automate certain part or create processes or put some AI into your customer interaction, for example. If you want AI agent that is going to be answering your clients or calling your client and ask them some question to qualify them, it's there. It's out there already, team. There is already a lot of company that does it, right? So at the end of the day, it's about researching the right information and asking the right questions to get it. So to answer also, yes, you're gonna have all the records. Earlier, I promised that I will answer few questions. Let me just share something about, here you go, about the pricing. Someone asked about the pricing of AI.
Yes.
I'm just sharing something. The most distributed. So these are pricing models that has been, I think, shared a few months ago online. It's probably evolved, but it gives you some ideas, right? Again, if you take this, put it into ChatGPT or Claude and ask him, hey, this is what my company does. I would like you to compare 3 type of pricing. This is my type of audience. I want you to compare 3 type of pricing that could make me do ABC based on your objective. So you need your objective. You need to know how much money you want to have by then. You need to explain to the AI what he wants, etc., and give him some ideas. Or ask him to search first how others in your sectors are pricing it. What are the business models? What are the business channel, like the pricing models, sorry. And based on that, explain what you do, how you do it, to who you are doing it, and what would be the best, and ask him to compare the 3 models at least so you can know about it. So that was it for me. We are running out of time, and I want to give a few minutes to the team to to do this. I see that there is the CAC question. I swear you can really, like, we can either take it tomorrow, or you can really copy paste this into Perplexity, or into, like, Perplexity is good, and he will answer you, hopefully. Sorry, because due to time, I can't really do it. Thank you. So hi, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Sareem. I really, really appreciate it. So let me just share my screen with you guys. All right. So this essentially concludes today, and inshallah for tomorrow. And actually, before I move forward, can anybody see my screen? Just thumbs up, please. Yes, you can. Perfect. Thank you. So this concludes essentially the day. Tomorrow, inshallah, we're going to be talking about building and managing teams at scale with Reem Bashoushi as well. And then we'll take it on from there. I've seen a lot of questions on the chat in terms of the recording, in terms of the deck itself, and how that's going to be done. So as far as the recording that's going to be done on your, you can find it on Thinkific. So this is going to be our LMS. You can't find it immediately, unfortunately. It's because Zoom takes a while until the whole recording thing finishes. So inshallah, by tomorrow morning, you should find the recording. It should be available. This deck, inshallah, is going to be there right after this call is over. You'll find this particular deck. And then also we'll share something with you as well, inshallah, which is something that we refer to as the pitch deck structure. So as I've mentioned early on, by day 5, all of you are supposed to pitch. Obviously, each person representing their startup. And so we're going to be sharing with you a guide of how to do it. Again, I know that a lot of you already know this and you've pitched to investors before, but I just want to kind of share like how we're looking into doing it, because inshallah, the pitch itself is going to be about a 3-minute pitch. And then we'll share far more once we take it from there. If you have any questions related to the program, please reach out to us via WhatsApp. If you have any questions related to the content, feel free to reach out to your mentors. And then other than that, inshallah, tomorrow, we're going to be continuing the second day building on the on this, and we'll take it from there, inshallah. Thank you so much, everybody. And I wish you a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.